This is a quick video that goes over the changes for Balance Druids and Legion. Probably the biggest change is that the Eclipse bar has been removed, and in its place is a new resource called Astral Power. You spend your Astral Power on Star Surge and Starfall. Your new mastery increases the damage of your empowered spells and the damage of Star Surge and Starfall. Also, instead of Starfall being a buff of a 40-yard AoE, it is now a targeted ground AoE, but is still really big. The main way you generate Astral Power is by casting Lunar Strike, which replaced Starfire, and by casting Solar Wrath, which replaced Wrath. Alongside their new and less confusing names, Lunar Strike and Solar Wrath have a half-second faster cast time, and Lunar Strike does a 5-yard cleave. Casting a Star Surge gives you an empowerment for both Solar Wrath and Lunar Strike, and you can hold a maximum of 3 empowerments of each spell. Both Moonfire and Sunfire had their durations reduced from 40 seconds to 22 seconds for Moonfire, and 24 to 18 seconds for Sunfire. And because the Eclipse bar is gone, Moonfire and Sunfire are now separate buttons and can be cast whenever. Oh, and that Hurricane spell has been removed. Celestial Alignment has also been changed, and now your Lunar Strike and Solar Wrath give you more Astral Power per cast while it's up. And it no longer lets you dot both Moonfire and Sunfire with one cast. And Innervate is back as a very powerful cooldown that you can use on a friendly healer to let them cast their heals mana free for 10 seconds. The talents have been jumbled all over, and there are a lot of new ones. In this video I'm mostly only going to go over what's new. Warrior of Elune is a 45-second cooldown that makes your next 2 Lunar Strikes have no cast time. Starlord makes it so that when your spells are empowered, their cast time is reduced by 10%. The level 30 talents are old talents in new places. Level 45 is the new Affinity row. Every Druid spec gets to choose one of the other specs as an affinity. This gives them abilities of their chosen affinity and a passive. There are no new spells in the level 60 row. Incarnation now replaces Celestial Alignment and is pretty much just a better version of it. Stellar Flare was moved down and now consumes empowerments to buff it. The level 90 row is all about Astral Power generation. Shooting Stars makes it so that your dots have a chance to do extra damage and generate 5 Astral Power. Astral Communion is now a 1 1/3 minute cooldown that generates 75 Astral Power. I think Blessing of the Ancients is the most interesting talent in this row. It allows you to toggle between 2 buffs. One of them increases the Astral Power generated by Solar Wrath and Lunar Strike by 40%, and the other buff grants 2 Astral Power every 2.5 seconds. The level 100 talents are sticking with their theme of having no theme. Fury of Elune is a 1-minute cooldown that casts a large beam on the ground, and it drains your Astral Power every second until you run out. Stellar Drift is the AoE talent that increases the radius of Starfall by 30%, increases the damage by 20%, and if you are within your Starfall, you can cast while moving. With Nature's Balance, your Lunar Strike and Solar Wrath extend the duration of their corresponding dot. The artifact weapon brings pretty much only passives. The one active ability it does bring is New Moon, which makes a huge impact on the rotation. Equipping the artifact gives you a new passive that makes it so that your spells will occasionally inflict Moonfang, which is just a dot that does damage over 10 seconds. You also gain New Moon, which is a spell that has 3 charges, and each time you cast it, it transforms into the next spell. The cycle is New Moon, Half Moon, Full Moon, then back to New Moon, and it repeats. Each one is a progressively longer cast and more damage. The biggest thing is that when you cast Full Moon, you gain 100 Astral Power. So you'll always want to make sure that when you cast Full Moon that you have as little Astral Power as possible. The only other artifact talent that adds an element of gameplay is Power of Goldrin. This makes it so that your Star Surge summons a tiger, which does damage in a line. This is interesting because it means that Star Surge might be better than Starfall in some multi-target situations. Because changes to spells and talents are being made all the time, I'm only going to talk about the rotation briefly and about what looks like it might stay for life. Breaking the rotation down into a priority list is the easiest way to go over it. First, always keep your dots up. Second, don't cap on Astral Power. Use your Star Surge on single target, Starfall on AoE, and keep Fury of Elune on cooldown. Third, make sure New Moon is recharging. Fourth thing is to not waste an empowerment buff by casting Star Surge if you already have 3 of one of them. And last, fail with Solar Wrath on single target, or fail with Lunar Strike on stacked multi-target. I was really happy to see that the Eclipse bar was removed, but the spec has lost some of its fluid feel without there being an interesting reason to cast either solar or lunar spells. Moonfire and Sunfire require a lot of maintenance, but it is probably what was aimed for to make Nature's Balance a compelling choice. And I hope that the raid rotation does not end up just revolving around doing good Furies of Elune. At first I was sad about the change to Starfall, but it ends up being really nice in 5-mans. Alright, and that's about all the new stuff there is for Balance Druids and Legion, and I can't wait to see how it turns out when the game launches. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.